And well, there's no end for trouble to NewsClick, which is on the radar for illegally infusing funds from abroad to promote anti-India activities. The special cell FIR accessed by Times Now details the anti-India blueprint and nefarious designs to distort, disrupt and dismantle. The FIR details the role of key players and the alleged modus operandi of NewsClick. The FIR categorically states that Neville Roy Singham, Gautam Navlakha, Ghulam Nabi Fay, Prabir Purkayast and Amit Chakrabarti colluded to disrupt social harmony, sympathize with terror groups and fund and fuel anti-government protests with the clear agenda to harm the unity, security and sovereignty of India. So that's the latest as far as the FIR is concerned. The FIR, in as many words, has detailed some of these players who are closely associated with NewsClick, of course, including the HR official and the founder Prabir Purkayast himself. But apart from these are very, very scathing observations. If we go by the FIR in detail, we have understood how the FIR says that illegally infused funds via Chinese firms were used by NewsClick, and as part of larger conspiracy to disrupt sovereignty and territorial integrity of India, all of this was done. Let's quickly go across to Pratibha for the breakdown of the charges under which the special cell of the Delhi police has booked the founder and the HR manager of NewsClick. Take us through these very scathing points.
Absolutely. Let's go through the sections that have been mentioned in the FIR, Kritsween, and this is, of course, going to be extremely significant. In the NewsClick case, Section 16 of the UAPA has been slapped, which is a terrorist act, and of course, this is one of the most contested on whether the UAPA should have been invoked in the case or not. In fact, the Section 17 of the UAPA has also been invoked, which is raising funds for terrorist activities. So grave charges against NewsClick, and not just that, the UAPA section 22C has also been brought in, which is the threatening of witnesses. So this is going to be very significant, especially while questioning the arrest of those in NewsClick. Apart from that, the IPC sections of 153A, which is promoting communal disharmony, this has also been invoked in the FIR. And lastly, IPC sections 120B of criminal conspiracy also being slapped. So these are the very, very serious charges that the members of NewsClick have found themselves in. These are the sections that have been mentioned in the FIR.
Okay, many thanks for that, Pratibha. The FIR access by Times Now has made it very clear that it was not just about the Chinese propaganda. That yes, was one of the concerns, one of the things that were going wrong, that were being furthered by NewsClick. But the real agenda of NewsClick was to inflict damage to India on all fronts. The conspirators distorted maps, downplayed India's COVID, sponsored Naxals and anti-India organizations to push India on the edge. Let me go across to Priyank joining us with more details. Priyank, we did put out similar details from the remand copy as well. Now that we've accessed this FIR and you've exclusively broken down all of those details here on Times Now, shared the FIR copy with us. Take us through what is it that we should highlight for our viewers to understand the story better and why NewsClick is under the agency's radar.
See, Kritsween, certainly, if you look at the mentions which has been done in this particular FIR, this talks about the Elgar Parishad. It talks about the Bhima Koregaon incident, which led to the violence in the state of Maharashtra. And that was the first time when the urban Naxal thing was brought into picture, because there were a group of individuals who were white-collar people and who were trying to propagate enmity in between the state. That led to the arrest of one of the prominent person and journalist, Gautam Navlakha from the national capital, and Sudha Bhardwaj also. These are the two infamous names which certainly in the mind of our viewers also. Then what the Delhi Police FIR says that Gautam Navlakha, the person who was arrested in the Bhima Koregaon incident, was also one of the contributor member and the founding member of the NewsClick, and he was very much in close contact with Prabir Purkayast, who has now been arrested. They were trying to peddle fake news. They were trying to build up narrative. They were trying to propagate that Arunachal Pradesh is not part of India and Kashmir is also a territory which is a disputed land in the Indian part of the subcontinent. So that is a thing which was trying to build up a false narrative against the country. During the course of further mentioning in this FIR copy, which almost looked like a charge sheet, what Delhi police is saying that what they have found that there were a group of Chinese companies, big brands, which was also given a goody-goody picture. These articles which were written in the favor of big telecom brand were also trying to build up shell companies which were supposed to send money, and the money was to be distributed to several individuals for blocking and disruption in various parts of the country. The FIR is also talking about the farmers' protest, that how roads were blocked and the normal life of people in Delhi was also blocked. That the FIR is also talking about what is happening in Arunachal Pradesh. So a very corroboratory detail and list of individuals who were receiving funds in the name of Chinese apps and companies and the Chinese entities with the help of Nirmal Singham is mentioned in this FIR, which is a subject of investigation. That's why when the raids happened, you saw that every person who was coming inside the Delhi Police Special Cell office was coming up with gigabyte and terabytes of data with him in his hand. So that shows that the electronic evaluation is happening. People are being questioned with the evidence which is available. And in due course of time, what we can see that this can open a Pandora box of the larger conspiracy which has been hatched by these group of individuals.
Absolutely. And the Solicitor General today, while the Delhi High Court was hearing the case, did say there is a lot more than what meets the eye. So we're yet to find out what more is the Solicitor General talking about. But many thanks, Priyank, for breaking down the details of the FIR in depth for us. Let's quickly open this up with Mr. R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, along with political analyst Shubhankar Bhattacharya, joining us live on the broadcast this evening at 5 p.m. Mr. Bhattacharya, will you still say that, an attempt is being made to muzzle journalists? Clearly in this FIR, apart from Prabir Purkayasth, Gautam Navlakha and Neville Roy Singham have also been mentioned. So their name clearly surfaces right on top of the FIR. Apart from that, how illegal money was used from China to further Chinese propaganda, and the likes of Gautam Navlakha and Ghulam Nabi Fai. What do you make of linkages that are now coming to light?
See, I would still like to see what kind of proof is being put in front of the Honorable Court, and how does the Honorable Court react to it. As far as the FIR is concerned, this is nothing new. We have already seen, and while in earlier government as well, that acts like Tada and Kota used to be slapped against the journalists and a lot of media people, who have shown courage to question the government. And see, bringing people into the thing, but we need to still find out, because only thing they have been pondering on is that there has been a money transaction from China. So where was that fund used? You have to prove that in front of Honorable Court. Where exactly the fund was deployed? Was there any direct beneficiary? And was such result? You mean that if you say that they wanted to disturb the communal harmony, so was that fund used for this? This has to be proved in front of the Honorable Court. Then only, you can actually say that this wasn't done under any political drama, or rather to quash, the journalist was trying to.
But Mr. Bhattacharya, you don't see anything wrong in the FIR clearly mentioning that it just doesn't stop at furthering the Chinese propaganda. Yes, there are maps that are being attempted to portray in a different manner. Arunachal Pradesh is being spoken of as a disputed territory. We know what was being done with regards to Jammu and Kashmir as far as that entire map saga is concerned. Apart from that, there are funds that are now being spoken of, and how all of these funds were illegally infused via some of the Chinese firms. We're talking about telecom firms, and they've been clearly mentioned in the FIR. Xiaomi, Vivo being some of them.
Well, I think let's not jump let the time speak for itself. I think the best investigative minds are put into it. Let them investigate into it. And I think sooner or later we get all the answers to it. That whether basically it is only about a fund coming in from a Chinese source, is that the only thing? Or was the fund actually actually,
That's
deployed
one
a
of the
group
things. The
for-
other things I just spoke of, Mr. Rajagopalan, is this not hard evidence enough for those questioning these raids, those questioning the arrest, when the FIR clearly says Gautam Navlakha was a
These are
shareholder
evidences. I'm
in
sorry, keep on
PPK
calling
Newsclick
evidences.
Studio Private Limited since its inception in year 2018, remain involved in anti-Indian and unlawful activities such as actively supporting
There is no
Naxal
such evidence.
organizations
These don't have
and
evidence.
anti-national nexus with Ghulam Nabi Fai, who we know is an agent of ISI. Do you see no problem in this, Mr. Rajagopalan?
There is a serious charges. Let the FIR be investigated further. And I am very sure whatever this news click, it is not journalism. It is against India. I have been journalist for 42 years, Christine. I covered parliament. I never indulged in, in this type of foreign, government, telecom, farmers agitation, Arunachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir maps. Why do you succumb to the pressure of Chinese or the journalists? My understanding is they are all anti-nationals, I should say, because they worked against the country. The FIR is very clear. You have to take two parts of the FIR, one from China. And why should these 20-25 editors, journalists succumb to the pressure of a Chinese company? So therefore, if you remember, 1 year ago, Raju Sharma of UNI has been arrested for getting Chinese fund for 9 crores. So this type of, editors, those who have sold our country's interest, and it is a serious charge, it is anti-government, it's a criminal conspiracy. My understanding is this Gautam Navlakha and this Singham conspiracy should also be exposed. There should be a proper investigation, and I am very sure the government will come out very, very strong, and the court will, take the cognizance of the FIR.
Okay, the FIR indeed mentions very clearly that illegal funds were used by using some of these shell companies, some of these telecom companies based in China for anti-India activities, while naming some of these key players. Remember, Neville Roy Singham is well known to one and all, and we know how is it that he further got in touch with the Prabir Purkayas to further the Chinese agenda. That is being looked at by the police in detail now as far as the ongoing investigations are concerned. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. A short break with that. Lots to end up on the other side.